A collective effort by Limpopo Police and the Hoedspruit Farmwatch has led to the death of 4 CIT Heist suspects, as well as the arrest of a highly wanted Mozambican suspect who had been on the run since 2022. Now, the incident happened on Wednesday in Limpopo, where 15 robbers armed with automatic rifles carried out a CIT heist in Hoedspruit, killing the Fidelity driver. Following the incident, farmers in the area blocked the roads with the boulders after they were alerted of the attack, which resulted in a shootout that killed 4 of the robbers and wounded 3, and no farmer was hurt. The suspects were found in possession of suspected stolen money, rifle and pistol. Now joining me live to talk about these is the General Manager of the TLUSA, Bennie Van Zyl. Good to have you join us, Bennie Van Zyl.
Good morning. Do you hear me now?
Okay, great. I can hear you loud and clear. Now, this acts of bravery there, by the farmers defending their community. What more can you tell us about the recent shootout between the farmers and robbers in Hoedspruit?
Yeah, from our side, that is the reality at certain areas in South Africa, that we do have a very high crime rate. We all know that. And this incident, the community with their farm watch, the Hoedspruit Farmwatch, actually was activated, and they worked closely together with the police to actually solve this whole problem of this crime. So we are very thankful for the outcome, because we do have some limitations within our police force. We should be honest about that. We are thankful for what the police try with, not the resources they needed all the time. And from their side, they actually do their best, but not always they are there. And then the community organize themselves in farm watches and community watches, and they participate to make sure that we can address the crime reality in our country. In this incident, the farm watch of Hoedspruit was very efficient, and they make a huge contribution to solve this matter, and we are very thankful for them.
Now, Mr. Zyl, let's talk about this act of bravery by the farmers. How did the farmers, manage to defend themselves and successfully neutralize the threat?
It is the reality that we do have an ongoing crime rate, and there's a lot of reasons for that in South Africa. I think the unemployment and the poverty at this stage is one of the big problems. But yes, in certain circumstances, we also experience a political motive with certain political agendas of certain crime syndicates. But that's not the issue. The reality is we do have crime. And if our farmers can make a contribution, because we have very well-equipped farmers, we train them within the farm watches. There's a lot of our farmers that have very good training. Some of them actually used to be in the defense force as well as the police force. They have training all the way how to address these type of things. So we haven't got a choice at this stage, that our farmers should stand up and make a contribution to stabilize it. We do have a rural safety plan where all the role players make a contribution to stabilize our crime situation in South Africa. The unfortunately reality is that in circumstances, in certain areas, we still have some places where the police is part of the problem, and that's a pity. But in almost all the cases, the police make a huge contribution, and we work closely together with them, and that's the way it should be. So this is an example for the rest of our country. What can be done if the police and the community work closely together to solve crime, so that we can stabilize our areas and stop it?
Okay. Now, in the light of, high crime rate in South Africa, how common are such incidents where farmers have to defend themselves against criminal activity?
Well, it quite often happens because a farmer is very far out in the rural areas, and there's not always help available. So the farmers are closely dependent on each other, and they work closely together within these farm watches. So the first action that you need to do if there's a farm attack or some crime on your farm is you yourself. You have to address it by yourself, and therefore you have to reach out to the other farmers to come and help you within these farm watches. All over the country we establish them, and then the farmers haven't got a choice to do that, because the police are circumstances very far away. It's not possible for them to be there immediately. So you have to stabilize it until the police can come. So yes, we do have to do it by ourselves. The best we can, we do it always within the law. That's very important to make sure that we keep our farmers intact. for producing food for our country. That is the most important asset we do have, is a producing farmer. And therefore we have to make sure that we can help by ourselves after we produce food, that we can stay safe. And therefore we have to make a contribution together with the police.
All right. Let's talk about the farmers themselves. What is in place for them in terms of protection of their property? Are there laws in place for them? Do you have insurance policies, in place for those farmers in South Africa to protect them against incidents like this, attacks like this?
Yeah, for us, that is one of the limitations that we do experience in South Africa. At this stage, we from our organization put some proposals to Parliament that we put down legislation that the farmers, when they put down some safety equipment, that they should get some tax benefits for that. So there is some limitations in that regard, the question you asked. But the farmers equip themselves at this stage, and they make sure that they are well trained and to position themselves as a grouping within an area. And then we sit on the police forums, work closely together with the police. And the big thing I think that we can do better in South Africa is crime intelligence, to know about crime before it happens. And in this occasion in Hoedspruit, the police intelligence was very good. They was aware of this, that it are going to happen, and therefore it was well managed to sort out this one. But that's not always the case. So if you can get better intelligence on crime, then you can prevent it, other than to actually work afterwards and try to do it then.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Bennie van Zyl, General Manager of TLU in South Africa. Thank you for your insight this morning.
Thank you so much, and have a nice day.